Pow! Hello and welcome to GameSpot After Dark. We now have as many episodes as Anita Campbell Green and Roger Daley have Dalmatians in Disney Classic 101 Dalmatians. That was a long way of saying how many episodes we have, right? Episode titles.
Boo.
Yeah, boo.
Joe wasn't as good the second time.
Nah, but you know, it happens. Sometimes it'd be like that. My name is Small Sane and I'm joined by Jean-Luc Seibke.
Hello, howdy, gamers. Nope, I can't say that. That's copyright infringement.
Us. Yeah, that is an Evan Langer classic.
He's not here. He was gonna be on,
no.
but he can't. So I'm just gonna steal his bits.
Michael Hyam, how are you doing?
What I do, baby? I'm doing terribly, but you know what? I'm doing fine now because I'm here with y'all because y'all are my friends.
Hey, also here with us is Jordan Remake.
What's up? Ubisoft will not let me rest.
Yeah, Ubisoft will not let you rest, and Team Cherry will not let you feel joy. It's the pained existence of Jordan Remake. We celebrated our 100th podcast last week. Now we're in our 100th podcast, and we're kind of starting to lean back into video. We're bringing video back in a way. So for those who have been with us from the very beginning, the OGs, the day ones, you might remember we started off with a few video episodes early in the run, and then we kind of like, the Rona happened, and they were like, "God damn, no one's got the time for this, and no one's got the understanding." But now we're back. We're bringing it back. So if you're listening to this on an audio podcast, firstly, what are you doing? Like, get with the times. Head on over to youtube.com/GameSpot so you can watch the video and see I'm kidding. I listen
Maybe
to
they're
most of my
driving,
podcast audio.
Tam. Maybe they're driving.
Watch the fucking video.
Pull over. Wherever you're going is not that important. Pull over. Make sure your handbrake is up. Fire up the video and watch it.
Video.
We're pivoting to video. Anyways, that was just our way of saying that we're thinking about bringing video back in a big way. So make sure you check it out. And even if you listen on audio, just go over to the video, click into it, and just leave it running in the background for between 9 and 50 minutes.
Give us that watch time.
You're watching on video. Maybe sub to the audio. You know what? Everyone just swap spots.
Yeah, everyone
it's like an ecosystem. Yeah. It's a live service. GameSpot Infinity.
Oh, that makes it sound weird.
Let's leave that.
Yeah. Hey, give me a C-suite exec, motherfucker. Let's go.
Yeah, and I just to reiterate, as Jean-Luc said, if you are watching the video right now, why not head on over to a podcast app and subscribe there? You might not watch it, but at least our subscription numbers go up and we can carry on doing this bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, Jean-Luc, you've had an eventful week. You've had new additions to the family. Mm-hmm. You've been playing video games. Tell us about it.
I got a new friend, a cat. Her name is Brinks. She is actually Max Scoville's old cat. They had a baby, and they were like, "We don't need this cat anymore. Please take this cat."
Wow.
I would give up Peppers and keep the cat. Hot take. They
didn't actually say that, but like, I understand why that exchange needs to happen, because goddamn.
She
baby plus Peppers plus Brinks.
Yeah, Brinks was kind of the odd one out, so I think it was just for the best. So we've referred to she's a little. We don't know her exact age, but we think she's around 11 or 12. So she's a little old lady. So we've referred to our house as her senior living home. She's gonna come chill with us and just relax. Don't have to worry about dogs or anything like that. She is so cuddly. She just loves to rub her head on everything.
I'm very excited about this as someone who lives literally doors away from you when I am in the States. This benefits my life as well, because now I can cat sit for you and I can play with Brinks too.
Immediately, the second Tam heard, he's like, "Hey,
you need a cat sitter?
I'm cat sitter?
Guy.
I'm your guy."
Brinks knows me as well. Brinks and I have spent some time together as well, so it'll be great.
She's very, very friendly towards people. Like, just it didn't take very long for her to adjust and just be like, "Oh, Like, you guys seem pretty cool. I'm gonna hang out with y'all. So yeah, she's been great. Except for the part where she wakes me up at 3 a.m, figuring that out still, trying to set them boundaries. But otherwise, that's been good. And in between that, I have been playing a little video games. Oh God, my brain was like looking for the video game music, and we don't have that on this podcast. For those who don't know, I helped fill in on the Bombcast yesterday.
Light flex.
Light flex. I was filling in for Jan, and I had to like practice all their thing of like, okay, like Jeff saying like what we've been playing. I got to hit the game music, so I was like still in that mode. I was like searching for it. I was like, oh God, where's the? Ooh.
This small flexing.
This motherfucker moonlighting.
Says you, Mr. Born to Roy.
Hey, we'll get to that later.
GameSpot, what are you talking about? It's just Giant Bomb.
It's just Giant Bomb.
It's just Giant Bomb now. Everything's Giant Bomb. Yeah, I've been playing some video games. I've been playing like every 2D Metroid. I've been just like going through them. Mostly because I was doing like a video on them, so I haven't admittedly like I played like an hour or two of each of them and kind of like cycled through. But I definitely am like I want to go back and play all of these because classic 2D Metroid whips. It's so good. Like those games hold up incredibly well.
Without self-reporting, are you playing these on the original hardware, or are you using other means to play them?
I am actually playing them all on original hardware.
Okay,
so Metroid 1 and Super Metroid I was playing on the Switch with the like Nintendo Online. Although I was using those like controllers they gave you, like the SNES and NES controller, so like felt like I was playing the original versions, even though I'm not. But then for Zero Mission and Fusion, I have a GBA consolizer, which is a device that you can buy. It's like a modding kit where you take like the original guts of a GBA and you put it into this like kit and do some soldering and all this nonsense, and then it allows you to output that through HDMI to your TV, and it looks crisp as hell.
Ooh,
so
really?
Yeah, I'm using my original GBA cartridges for Zero Mission and Fusion, playing on those. Yeah, it's awesome. Those games in particular, I have like a real fondness for. Zero Mission was like my first Metroid game I ever played, because I never owned a console as a kid, so like I only owned handhelds, and I love that game to death. I feel like I've probably played it like 10 times or something, and like it still holds up. It still feels so good to play. Man, I don't play some Metroid. If you haven't played Metroid, like it's kind of shocking to me how like those like that genre has like exploded, and you know, like man, like Metroidvania is like they're everywhere. You can like I'm just like I'm walking around my house and I trip over like a new Metroidvania that someone made, and I'm like, and you know, like varying degrees of quality. You know, I never beat Hollow Knight, but I heard it's one of the best Metroidvanias. I'm
Hell
sure,
yeah.
but even then, so you'd think like, you know, the OGs maybe like wouldn't hold up as much, and they'd feel like dated. They really don't. Like they just like everything about like the level design to the controls. It just feels so tight and so just they're masterful. They're masterful games.
I was about to say, you know why people don't play the OG Metroids? Because Nintendo makes it really hard to actually play the old Metroid.
That was something I asked them when we did our Play for All / E3 interview with the Treehouse team. I was like, you're releasing Dread, which is the canonical next entry in the Metroid series, the sequel to Fusion. Are you going to make Fusion available for people to play? And they were like, no. Why are we doing that?
It doesn't make
they
any
didn't say
sense.
no. They were like,
Metroid 5?
Yeah.
I don't know 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, I don't know her. Are they like, oh yeah, you're gonna buy Metroid 5? What, you want to play Metroid 4? What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? No,
we have 5
absolutely
coming out soon. Why would you want 4?
Why would you want 4? Like, mad. But I would recommend people. One, Fusion is very good still. And without self-reporting, there are many ways to play that game very easily. Also, Samus Returns 3DS version. It is Samus Returns.
Oh yeah, that's the remake of 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the remake of 2. Excellent game. Kind of came in at the tail end of the 3DS's life and got like forgotten in a big way. But a lot of the designs and systems and the team behind it obviously is working on Dread. So that is sadly you can't play the narrative like prequel to Dread, but you can play in terms of design ethos and gameplay experience Metroid Samus Returns to get a kind of like a primer on it, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah. So like that's the video I'm working on, is like, hey, here are all the old Metroids, like which ones are worth going back to play? How can you play them? Spoiler, you need to own a Wii U to play a lot of them officially. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of what my sentiment is. Like, if you had to pick 2, you'd be like, for story purposes, play Fusion if you want to kind of feel caught up to Dread, and then from like a gameplay standpoint, play Samus Returns on your 3DS or however else you happen to play it.
We won't judge.
Nintendo. This is only going to carry on if you keep making it hard for people to buy your old games. This is how it's going to be. I have got no guilt about it when it comes to Nintendo. Like everyone else, I'm like, don't do that. But when it comes to Nintendo, I'm like, these motherfuckers they don't give a shit about preserving their old games.
That's on them.
Yeah, that's on them.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, you've also been playing some Final Fantasy VII, Jean-Luc.
Yeah, I played that Yuffie DLC. We had Phil on a couple episodes ago to talk about it. I don't know if I had much to...
Are you feeling it?
That was good. I'm just not in the mood.
No, don't give it to him.
No, that was good. Of all the bullshit Tam does, like that was like oh shit, yo, that's got layers. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a throwaway these nuts joke, but like, you know, we'll get to it.
How is it, Jean-Luc? Because I still haven't played it.
It's great. Actually, I really like it. I think the main criticism I've heard about it is how like it doesn't do much to like progress the story or anything, and I think that's fair. But really, like, to me, the point of this DLC is to establish and make Yuffie an actual likable character this time. Because I don't know how you guys feel about Yuffie, but like I was pretty whatever about her in the original Final Fantasy VII. It's partly the fault of like she's an optional character, so she just doesn't get that much attention, and like every time she does have anything to say in the story, it's always like, hey, I'm gonna steal your mana, and then off, and you're like, god damn it, Yuffie, stop doing that. Like but this one is like, okay, kind of like with the rest of the remake, we're gonna sort of keep the core of these characters, but really flesh them out and kind of give them like more breadth in a way where it's like I was okay with Barrett in the original 7, but I love Barrett in the remake, and I thought Barrett was fantastic. And I feel the same way about Yuffie, where like they really lean into how she is just like this sort of like kid who like thinks she's hot shit and just wants to like everyone to know that she's hot shit and like prove herself. It's big like Naruto energy coming from Yuffie in a way that like it's really charming and endearing. So just it did its job, where I was like, you know what? Yeah, like Yuffie's cool. I like Yuffie. Like I'm excited for more Yuffie now, and which is something I wouldn't have thought I would say after playing the original game. They also do some cool stuff with the combat, where because it takes place like you want to play it after you beat the main game, they can go a little harder with some of the enemies, and they can get kind of weirder. So they have a lot more interesting mana combinations that are like very specific to Yuffie's abilities. And so you have all these moves where she uses her weapon to not only do like like front-facing melee attacks, but you can also throw it and like do like some spin magic attacks. You can use certain mana to imbue it with different like elemental abilities, and do like certain like parry type combos. And then your AI ally, I forget his name. Sonon, who's cool as well. He's got some like I don't know, like daddy, like Nathan Fillion kind of vibes to me. I don't know. He's hot. He's
zaddy.
hot. Yeah, he's hot. I like him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's hot. He's good.
So he's a daddy and he steals artifacts from
Zaddy Zonon.
Oh, thief daddy.
He's a thief daddy.
So he's Drake.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So because they didn't make him like a full playable character, because I imagine they were like, that's a lot of work, and he's not like a main party member the way Yuffie is, like, so instead he is just you can only control him in making him do specific magic or attacks, and then also you can do this like synchronize button where he'll like mirror Yuffie's moves. So like you'll be like, all right, we're going to synchronize, we're going to attack the enemy, and like Yuffie will jump on him, and then like he'll jump, and then you just do this like rhythm back and forth where you're both just like ninja in like just
fucking yeah,
beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's like super satisfying. Kind of makes the game a little easy when you do that. You're like, I'm you're like, I'm losing this fight. Synchronize, then we win because we're just gonna beat the shit out of him. But it's like really fun at the same time, like super flashy and really satisfying. I had a really good time with it. Also, music. I gotta say, the music. Yuffie's music battle theme slaps. It's real good.
How long is the DLC?
It's not very long. It took me like 4 hours. I didn't do all of the
Fort Condor stuff?
Yes, the Fort Condor mini game. I played like one thing of it, and I was like, nah, I'm not feeling this. I don't really want to, because they were like, all right, now you can go around and fight all 5 Condor people, and you're like, no, I'm good. Although one of them was Roach, which was cool. Oh, sorry.
Look, as someone who has not played Final Fantasy VII since it came out, how easy is it to jump back in and remember how combat works and what you're supposed to do to actually win? That's my biggest worry.
It definitely,
it's been too long.
Took me a minute. Like, I was kind of getting my ass handed to me for like the first couple encounters, and I was like, oh man, is this like really hard, or am I like forgetting? It's a little bit of both. Like the training wheels definitely aren't there. They kind of expect you to like remember how to play the game, but I don't think it's demanding enough that you would find it. I think you get back in the rhythm pretty quickly, and because it's just 2 characters and you don't even have to directly control one of them, you really can like they really let you just like focus just on learning Yuffie as a character and like getting to understand how she functions, and you're not juggling all these other characters. So little bit of a learning curve, but I got into the rhythm pretty quick.
Did you see the story about why Yuffie was selected as the character for the DLC over Vincent?
It's because like Vince is just like chilling in a coffin, right?
Yeah, Vincent is canonically f***ing asleep. So they were like, we can't do anything with this motherfucker. He's fully asleep in his coffin.
Vincent, sleepy.
Yeah, they also had this like the villain characters, which I guess are from Dirge of Cerberus. I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy spinoffs, so I don't know any of that. I mean, they were there, and I was like, all right, this is some like Square Kingdom Hearts ass, bullshit, but I'm here for it. Like, whatever, it's cool. It was fine, but I didn't have any context for who those people were, and they didn't really reveal much, but like, I assume they will come back in like a Yuffie related thing in part 2 or 3 or whatever. Yeah,
I'm gonna check that out for sure.
It's worth checking out.
Yeah, especially since I love the original game, and I'm due like a replay now that the PS5 updates are out as well. Michael Hospital, I was about to say, because I read what you've just.
Wow, damn!
It's because I just read what you added to what you've been doing, and it says 2 Point Hospital in real life.
Yeah,
what's that?
I spent the last 3-4 days in the hospital, motherfucker. Like, damn, this shit sucks.
Damn.
So over 4th of July weekend, I went back to San Diego to like be with my family and be with my girl and like meet up with her family and all this other stuff. So I checked into the hospital on Friday to check out like I have a swollen ass leg, and what is someone has a leaf blower in their background or something?
Dude, my neighbors, I don't know, they have like a dentist office in their like apartment or something. Like it sounds like a drill.
Is it that? No, there's that guy who like does woodworking outside. I always used to see him when I used to come out, and he'd have woodworking equipment out, and he's like fucking cutting pieces of wood, and I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
It really seems like an ideal time to do some wood cutting. I'm sure no one.
I mean, if it's your day job, sure. In an apartment, though, what the fuck?
He's a lunatic, man. So sometimes I see him, I'm like, you cannot be doing that shit. That's mad. Because like it's ridiculous. It travels as well. But he was on my side of the apartment, so for it to be that loud, it's got to be someone else.
No, I think it's just my neighbors have like a blender or something, and they make like their morning smoothie. But they also do it at like 10 o'clock too, and I don't know what's up with that. But like,
man, Jake used to do that shit at like 6:30 in the morning when I used to live with Jake. Man, I'm so glad he's not on this podcast anymore.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. Not when we was kicking it with him last episode. So y'all should check that out, episode 100 with OG Jake Decker. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've been in the hospital for like 3-4 days, and then so I flew back home to be with my friends and family. Turns out they're gonna have to come. They had to come see me in the hospital, and then I had like half a day of actual vacation left over. So I went all out. I turned up. I was like, get these IVs off me, bro. Where's the Henny at?
Just coming out of the hospital looking like Wolverine busting out of Weapon X, like
with a bottle of Henny in my hand and a California burrito in the other.
Just replace the IV bag with a bottle of Henny.
With Henny, that's what I said. Give me those.
Yeah,
I was getting antibiotics. I want them Hennybiotics. You know what I'm saying? Shit, let's go.
Please drink responsibly. Thank you.
Yeah,
Carry on.
don't. Yeah. Also, Henny hit me with the sponsorship. What's up with it? But yeah, I haven't had much time to do anything. I had my Switch, but I didn't really feel like playing video games. I don't know. I was just like sad.
No,
but
it happens. It happens, man.
I hope it doesn't happen to anybody else, because that shit fucking sucked. And many other things that happened during my stay there. But I've also been I have played a game that many of folk have been talking about called The House in Fata Morgana. I got it right here on Switch. Yeah, it finally got to me. Natalie got to me. All right, so shouts out to my homegirl, Natalie Flores. I feel like I shout her out every time I'm on the goddamn podcast, but she has good taste, and I trust her on this one. She says it's the best game of all time, and that's a lot coming from her. It's also apparently the highest rated Nintendo Switch game in history. It has like 100 on Metacritic, so
yeah, it's got like 8 perfect reviews, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, because it's like the only people who reviewed it. Like the only people who reviewed it are the ones who are like, "Yo, this shit is fire," because this is like a definitive edition of it. So of course the people are gonna play, but like, "Yo," shouting from the rooftops. So I get it. It's a visual novel. It's kind of creepy. It has sensitive subjects. It has twists and turns, and apparently it's really well written. So I'm about to find out what that's about, because I'm super interested in it, and I don't know. I want to be surprised. That's another thing too, is that when I play games now, it's like I want to be surprised by something. Like even like the big AAA stuff is dope, but I feel like I've played these kinds of games. Like I was playing Ratchet and Clank, like this is an incredible game, but I feel like I've been here before. I've done this. And then playing Mass Effect, obviously playing the Mass Effect remaster. These are games that I've played multiple times before, and it's a lovely thing to have to remember, replay those games in higher definition, in much more better quality of life. But I don't know, I'm seeking things to be surprised about. I've also been playing Fantasian, which is also a lovely surprise in the regard of like, oh, this is comfort food. We've talked about that game previously, but like on Apple Arcade, I was just like chilling in my hospital bed, like, yo, where my meds at? When can I get out of here? I listened to the new audio art already. I don't know what else to do. So I pull up Fantasian. I'm just like, yo, Fantasian's been great. So House in Fata Morgana. I'm going to find out what that's about. I literally just started it this morning. I bought it last night. I couldn't download on the plane, but I am going to play it now. And hopefully this shit better knock my socks off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Y'all should peep that, or actually wait till I say something, and then
What's
maybe
it called?
you should peep that.
House of Big
The
Fat
House-
Morgana.
The House of Fat Morgana. Oh, that would be so cute. Oh, big Morgana.
would be cute.
Oh my gosh. You know how like Final Fantasy 14 has the fat cat plushie?
Yeah.
I want a Fat Morgana plushie. Oh my gosh, it'd be so cute.
It's currently on sale on Steam.
Yeah.
Which it's 50% off on Steam.
Oh, the game. I'm like, what? The plushie? This plushie
the
that we
Morgana
just
plushies.
invented like 5 seconds ago?
Oh, it's on special promotion. Natalie got to Gabe as well. Damn. For the next,
Damn. She's getting to everybody, dude.
Yeah, she's prolific. This looks like it could be interesting. I'm gonna buy it for myself because it's a game on Steam.
Damn,
which,
she got to you too.
Damn.
Yeah,
I'll probably.
I do that shit all the time. I'll buy as with everyone. I'll buy a game on Steam and never play it. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I am
but
also
yeah.
very excited to get back into Final Fantasy 14 because I need something that will comfort me, that will take care of me, that'll let me know that everything's all right, and I can beat the shit out of motherfuckers. So, Final Fantasy 14, always.
Final Fantasy 14 is chicken soup for Hyam.
For the soul, yes.
For the soul. Well, you've sold me on the House in Fata Morgana, which I'm gonna play. Maybe I'll like stream it. Who knows?
Ooh.
Jordan,
What's that?
what you been up to?
Ooh, I'm excited.
I've been playing Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Man, it's been a long time since I've played Doki Doki Lit Club, and it's the same game. If you've played it before, then you kind of know what you're getting into. I wrote a quick feature on how I'm like, maybe play the PC version and not the console version, because I think the twist for Doki Doki works a little bit better on the PC version. But the new content, I don't want to spoil it, but like,
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
It's got
whack?
me thinking. It's
Oh,
it's one of those things where there's not like actual gameplay per se, where it's like you're making new choices and seeing new outcomes. It's like literally visual novel. You're, depending on the choices you make in the game, you unlock new scenes that showcase what Monica and the rest of the literature club were up to prior to the player character jumping into that story. So it showcases how they meet and how Monica sets a lot of the things in motion for that game. And then it also unlocks a bunch of optional text logs, which seem to be indicating why what happens in Doki Doki Literature Club, the plot, actually happens. I'm trying to talk about this in a way that doesn't like spoil what happens, but it's interesting. It's cool. It's like an extra, I don't know, hour,
Director's
maybe
cut,
hour and a half of like new story content. That's pretty interesting and pretty cool. It like ups Doki Doki from like a 3.5-4 hour game to like a 5.5 hour game, and it's cool stuff. It's kind of worth it if for no other reason, just to see what the new content is. And it's easy to unlock the stuff because in plus if you've gone through a scene before, you can just press skip and we'll just skip you straight to the next choice that you have to make. So it's like, okay, I don't need to see the introduction of all the girls again, which is like a 35-minute scene. Just get me to the first choice. I'm like, perfect, excellent. So you can just rocket through the story multiple times, see all the different outcomes and endings, and then get all the new content really quick. It's really cool. I recommend it.
I've been playing. No, I've been re-experiencing that game in a very strange way. So
you've been watching Nick Scarpino's playthrough, right?
I wasn't watching it. I was in it.
Oh, really?
I voice Yuri in that playthrough.
Oh shit! I only saw that they were doing a playthrough. I'm like, oh, I want to see Nick.
So,
Nick,
has he done Yuri's route yet? Because I want to see that.
So they started playing it. I tuned in because I was like, oh shit, the Kind of Funny lads are playing. And I think like, who was there? It was like Nick was playing it. Who who else was on there? Kevin was there.
Kevin was on it.
Kevin, Joey. I think I can't remember who else was there. Well, there was a bunch of Mike, obviously, Snowbike Mike.
Right, yeah.
And they like started playing it, and I was watching along, and eventually they got to the point. I think it was like 20 minutes in where they were like, "Oh, we should like have." Nick was tired of reading, and they were like, "We should have other people read this stuff out." And it ended up like there were too many characters and not enough people to read it. And I was in the chat, and the chat was like, Tam, go in and read a character. So I was like, well, if they want me to read a character, I'll let me know and I'll come. And Joey was like, yeah, jump in. So I jumped in, and they were like, read for Yuri. And I, from that point on, just did a voice, like a proper, like a voice, and like committed to it. And I was like, I'm not going to break character. I'm just going to. So while they were all making jokes, I'm just sitting there silently, like doing my Yuri voice.
Is there a VOD of this somewhere?
Yeah, can you give a sample?
Oh, yeah.
What's
yeah.
give me
No,
a
I'm
taste.
not going to do it because I'm not going to do it. No.
You read when we get to listener questions, you read the listener questions in your Yuri voice.
It's not. Here's why I won't do it. It's because one, I want people to go and watch the kind of funny video.
Tom Moonlight.
I mean, like, listen, we got to support our friends. We got to support the homies. Like, it's a fun video, and also because I can't remember how to do it.
Shit. I did the same thing with my homies too. Like we streamed it, and everyone had their own voices. We all had like wild accents and shit. So
like I obviously cannot do a female voice. Like, and I came up with it on the spot. So it sounds really weird when I hear it. Sometimes I was like, I quickly read up on her character arc again and like her personality, and I was like, okay, so what I want to go for is like soft and like sweet and reserved, but also kind of raspy, like a slightly raspy voice. And I was like, this is what I've got in my head right now, and I did it, and it sounds really weird.
The Crow?
No, it sounds really weird. It sounds like an anime, like it reminds me of like the animal that would be voiced in an anime. Like, it sounds really odd. You're like, this is anime Kermit the Frog. What's going on? So like, since then, I assumed they're going to do a part 2, and Yuri is in that. But like, I was like, since then, I've like watched a couple of videos on how to do like a decent female voice. And I'm trying to like get it a bit better. So when I get back there, I can do a better version of it. But that was fun. This is my big move into voice acting.
I say Tam's gonna be a voice actor.
I studied acting and drama for like 5 years at school, and then I was like, all right, peace, I'm gonna do fucking law school.
And then you pieced that one.
That was originally what I wanted to do as a career as well. Like my teacher then was like, you should get into acting directing because you can do it. And I was like, you don't know what the pressures of a South Asian family are, do you? But yeah. So Jordan, the other game you've been playing is Death's Door.
Yeah, got hands on with the demo for that game, which honestly was, if I'm guessing correctly, is actually a pretty hefty chunk of the game, because it's this game where you're playing as this cute little crow who goes into work one day, like just little pitter patter. He's got this like tiny little glowy sword on his back, and he's this reaper. And basically the rule is that like if you're a crow in this world, you can be a reaper, and as long as you're a reaper, you don't have to die. So it's like, oh yeah, I can be immortal as long as I just do my job forever and ever and ever. There's a deep, like, I think capitalistic mindset underneath all of this, but we'll get to that. But it's one of those things where it's like you go out, you go on assignment, you're about to get the soul that you're going out for, and the people tell you beforehand, it's like, remember, you can't actually return to the office like until you get the soul. And as long as your like door is open to where you have to go to get the soul, you're going to continuously keep aging. And right before you get the soul, some guy knocks you out. You track him down. Turns out it's a crow who like decades prior got like a similar assignment, and he lost his soul. So he's just been aging for like the past few decades. And he basically stole your soul to try to open this other door where his soul went after. and he throws the soul, doesn't open the door, and he's like, well, shit, that didn't work. Well, now you're kind of like in the same boat I am. If you want to like get your soul, you're basically going to have to open this door, and you're going to need like 3 super powerful souls to open it. Go kill these 3 giant people who have like learned to live for a very long time and escape death. I'm just going to sit here because I know that you can do the work for me and get my soul back so that I don't have to age anymore.
So you're telling me this is a Souls-like?
Door Souls.
Kind of, but in the sense that like when you die, you don't like lose all of the souls from people that you've collected. You lose some of them if you die multiple times in a row, but you don't have to like go to the spot where you died and collect everything that you did. So it's like when you die, provided you had enough souls, it's like, oh, okay, cool, I died, I respawned at the last checkpoint, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly upgrade my stats right here now with all the stuff that I accrued over the past 20 minutes, and then just keep going and going and going. There's no like frantic, nerve-wracking, am I going to make it back to the boss that I died at to collect my souls before I lose all of them again and I just lose like 60 minutes of work.
So coming out of E3, this was the game on everyone's lips. Like Death's Door it is basically, if we had to assign game of the show to any game, it would easily 100% without a shadow of a doubt be Elden Ring. But then shortly behind that would be Death's Door. Does this seem like, firstly, what is it about this game do you think that people are kind of really exciting them? And does it feel like, based on the preview that you've played, it has the potential to be something special this year?
I think for people, if they want to know whether or not they want to get into this game, if you enjoyed something like Hades, which kind of did the whole business like take on death plus a little bit of humor and a little bit of sadness in the side stories, but you didn't like the fact there was a roguelike and you lost all your progress between each run, Death's Door is kind of for you. You get a very similar experience, only your progress isn't being reset every single time you die. In terms of just being like a special game, I think this is going to be a strong console exclusive for Xbox. I don't think it's going to be on Game Pass, though, which is a shame because I think it would do very well there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I feel like it's not. I think it's only just coming out on Xbox and PC. But dope game. Awesome game. Great music. Great visuals. Very melancholy with a little bit of humor. One of the characters you meet is a dude named Pothead, and he has a pot for a head. And he's kind of like this dude who's like, hey, I got like soup up here, do you want some? He like tries to spill his head over into the bird's mouth, and bird's like, no, it's fucking gross and disgusting, please stop. Like, it's a funny game, it's like charming in like the cutest possible way, and I think it's gonna be a game that takes maybe 7 to 8 hours to complete, maybe. So it's like, it's one of those where it's like, oh, I don't want to play a 60-hour Assassin's Creed adventure game. I just kind of want to play a game that I can...
Or do you?
Beat, like... No one wants it. No one wants it. We're going to get to that later, but no one actually wants that. I adore games that I can look at and I'm like, I can see the end point, like, within the first 3 to 4 hours of playing.
It's worth pointing out that this game is developed by Acid Nerf, which is a very small team from Manchester in the UK, big up. And you may have played one of their previous games. It was called Titan Souls, which came out a whole years ago at this point. It's like 2015 or something like that. But another great game. But like there are a couple of, I think it's 2 developers that then collaborate with a bunch of folks around the world. And looks really, really cool. I'm excited for that game so much. It's the game that I'm most excited for right now. This month, not long to go.
Comes out the same day as Chris Tales. It's fine. It's fine. I'll play them all.
Yeah, you'll find the time. I have downloaded a bunch of games that I'm supposed to be playing during my break, which I'm currently on, but I'm not doing breaks good.
You're on your break? Why are you here?
Yeah, baby. I downloaded Doframatic, which I wanted to play. And I also downloaded Umurangi Generations, which I wanted to check out.
Hell yeah.
And there were a couple of other games that also I wanted to check out, but I can't. The names escape me now. But I've been mostly spending my time playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is Chicory is the other one that I wanted to play.
Hell yeah! And we got him on board. Yeah.
And Backbone.
Chicory
and
gang.
Backbone. I forgot about Backbone.
Hell yeah!
So I think like there are a bunch of short games, so I think I might just like stream them, and like that'll be my way to force myself into playing games that aren't Valorant. But I am enjoying Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm like most of the way through. I'm like 30 hours into Mass Effect 2 just before I have to go to get the Reaper IFF thing relay.
That's your ways in.
Yeah, I've been kind of taking my time with it, but also it's weird because I'm taking my time with it, but I'm also like not paying 100% attention to everything that's happening. During the combat sequences, I kind of tune out. I'm watching like Hassan Piker's stream in the background. So like when the combat stuff starts happening, I'm tuning out of that and I get to watch him scream at his chat for an extended period of time. And then when someone comes up with some dialogue, I'm like, okay, I'll pay attention here again. And it's been nice. It kind of like helps me with like many people these days. I feel like I always need to be doing 3 things at once. To maximize my time, which is a habit I really need to break. I really struggle with just focusing on one thing. Like I've been doing it with Castlevania, like the newest season. I watch one episode and try my best to focus on nothing but that episode, but inevitably I'll like pick up my phone and answer an email. I've got problems. But that game, Mass Effect 2 is really, really cool, really, really good, like super, super cool. At some point yesterday, I switched Thane to one of his DLC outfits that I had never used in the original version of the game. And he gets like these fucking glasses. And it turns that game into a comedy game. Because you got like the maddest shit happening, and then like every single scene, Thane is in the background wearing the glasses, looking like the Deal With It meme every single time. The amount of like harrowing, like the amount of time Morden's been talking to like his protege, I forgot what the other Solarian's name, Malin, and they're talking about like they're like verbally jousting about the rights and wrongs of the genophage, and Thane's just in the background. All the light is just like bouncing off his shades, and he's just standing there like
ray tracing.
He's just looking like he's a frog that fell out of the Matrix universe, just like standing around. Like I'm like, oh, fuck. I already like Thane was already my favorite character of the Mass Effect franchise, and with those shades, it's just
he has
so good now. He's ascended into like his drip is unbelievable in that game.
Know what I wonder if he probably won't be wearing it in 3. Like during the most saddest moments of the game.
Yeah,
oh my god!
Like mod him into that outfit.
You probably could. The mod.
You definitely could on
definitely
PC.
could.
You definitely could with mods on PC. Yeah.
The mod scene's actually really legit now on that. Like that mod community's been going wild. They have this thing called like Mod Manager that's basically like this like really easy program where you just download any mod, put it in, and it just auto installs it for you. I was messing with
Fallout
like,
games
that's
have
amazing.
that.
Yeah. Like,
That's amazing.
There's like you can like do a first person mod where you can just walk around in first person. It doesn't work for combat, it switches back to third person, but it's like kind of cool because it just turns all of the HUD areas into these like walking sim through like the Citadel and like dude, if someone adds like VR support.
That's awesome.
Ooh.
That would be amazing. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. I've been taking a lot of like photos as well in mostly pictures of Thane, honestly, like a lot of pictures of Thane. I started off being like, oh, I'm going to take a really artful photo of every crew member and every like major character, and then quickly abandoned that because I saw Thane with the glasses and I was like, I'm 100% committed to this man and his like weird glasses. But yeah, that game, the writing holds up really well. There are some lines that are like jaw-droppingly good in that franchise, and they come up with frequency in this game. Like I finished up. Yeah, I've been like doing the loyalty. I like stacked up all the loyalty missions, and I'm just going through them one by one. I did Samara's yesterday, and
so
then
good.
It's real good.
Yeah,
I was like, you know
really
what?
good.
I was like, you know what? This time I'm gonna go with Morinth, and then I did the loyalty mission, and the whole experience with Morinth happens, and I was like, fuck Morinth, no, and I was like, back to Samara, and now I'm just. Yeah, I'm doing. What am I doing? I'm doing not the Arrival DLC, the one with the Overlord. I'm doing Overlord right now. So I'm gonna finish that up and then probably do the Relay and pick up the other good character in this game. But yeah, beyond that, playing a bunch of Valorant still. Swings and roundabouts with that game. Last week, I felt I was real good. This week, I felt like pure trash. So we'll see how we're doing.
That's the Valorant experience.
Yeah, that's the Valorant. That's a tack shooter experience. But that's pretty much it.
Online games experience.
Yeah. And then like in between that, I'm like watching Berserk. I'm trying to catch up on My Hero Academia, Castlevania. I started watching Bo Burnham's Inside and found it quite boring. I found it quite boring.
Oh,
I was just like,
never mind.
I asked you this before, but is it too Yakubian?
It's very Yakubian. It's very Yakubian, and like I can understand some of the I can relate, but like I think singing comedy doesn't work for me at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Or even singing, because like the Jeffrey Bezos song is stuck in my head, but like, and the things that he's saying are like impactful, but like they're not especially astute observations. He's not saying anything that anyone else hasn't tweeted already. Like, it's just he's saying it. So like now it's getting way more attention, and he's singing it. And singing comedy doesn't work for me at all. I found like. And that combination, I'm like halfway through it because I keep coming back to it in chunks, and I feel like the production is very impressive. I'm super impressed with that. Like the fact that it's a one-man production and the amount of effort that's gone into that, and he's clearly pouring his heart and soul into it. But it's like everything he says is like, yeah, I've seen someone tweet that.
The production is like what really like drew me into it personally. Like I was sitting there like, oh, like how's he doing this? Does he have like a like what kind of rig does he have? Like what kind of light systems he using? Like I was like really trying to like pick apart like exactly how he did it.
My man's got arms and legs, and that's all he's doing. He's got using them. He's putting them to work. I mean, like I said, like I'm like halfway through, so I think like the latter half kind of really gets better. I will say like one of the first things he says is like, can everyone just shut the up and not say something about everything constantly? And I was like, yeah, that is like a big 2020, 2021 mood. Everyone feels the need to always say something about everything that is happening on the internet constantly. And like the way he like, it boils up in him and it just like explodes into just the most like aggressive, just everyone shut up. I was like, I can relate to that. I get it. But excuse me while I go and tweet now about the latest thing that happens. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Let's move on to news because we've got some absolutely fascinating stories to cover. Jean-Luc, hit the news music.
Oh. 1 sec. The news music broke.
You're dropping the ball, John.
You love to see it.
Hold on. Wait. No, wait. I got it. Run it back. Hit me again.
Jean-Luc, hit the news music.
God damn it. What the
Yeah, you know what? Jean-Luc, we're going to have a meeting after this. Oh,
it played for a sec. Oh, man. Technical issues.
Technical difficulties.
One more time. Come on. Okay, we got it. We got it. We're cutting all this out, by the way. We're definitely not. This is not staying in.
Okay. All right. That's enough of that. Let's head over to the news. We've got some fascinating stories. Jean-Luc, hit the news music first time. Never doubted you for even a second.
Nailed it.
The first story comes from a little company called, you may know them as Nintendo. They used to make Hanafuda cards. Now they make marginal improvements to hardware you love. Michael,
Damn.
Yo,
what's going on with
What's
this?
the deal?
The Nintendo Switch, and why have they allowed Samsung to rename this device? Like, what is this? This looks like the Nintendo Switch OLED looks like some fucking LG executive
Switch
got into their
OLED.
branding department.
Stupid name.
we want that
Stupid,
Switch OLED.
stupid name.
OLED do it. OLED do it. You know that classic from Waka Flocka? That's probably what they were thinking
Yeah.
about. Like, oh, Nintendo Switch, OLED do it. Okay, so
This is your
Nintendo
your
Switch-
opportunity to make the nuts joke that you want to make.
No, it's not.
Get in there.
That's
You know, it's not? Is that later?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
I've already
okay.
made that joke on Twitter. It got mad
Yeah,
likes.
yeah.
You know, I'm saying follow. Make sure you follow your boy
mad
for more of
likes.
these nuts jokes. Yeah. So Nintendo busts out and said, we're gonna put a 7-inch screen on this thing, up from 6.2. Keep it the same size so there's less bezels. I'm a huge fan of that. That's what I want. And it's you got a wider adjustable stand. So shouts out to Jeff Bakalar. So you can review that stand if you want. I know it's a sore spot. Shouts out to you, my boy. But it will not feature any performance improvements or 4K support, and it will sell for $350. Released on October 8th, the same day as Metroid Dread. So,
Look, here's the thing, right?
y'all feeling this or not?
Like most of us who have lived in the pandemic, like we're gonna come out of this with no performance improvements as well. So, like
That's facts.
You know what?
as another creation within the pandemic, I'm not at all surprised that this is just
Yeah.
the same thing, a bit like marginally improved. But I tweeted about this. I was like, this is clearly not for me. This is clearly not what I want out of it. Am I gonna buy it? Absolutely. You know why? Because when it's approaching, people are going to be talking about it. There's going to be pictures. I'm going to get hyped, and then I'm going to buy it. And then when I have it, it's going to give me that little rush of endorphins. And you know what? We live in an age where we should take the opportunity, if you can, if you have the means to just savor every endorphin rush that you can get via reasonable
For
means.
$350 though.
Yeah,
My bank account about to get an endorphin rush.
Yeah, I mean, I'll sling some old shit and get
Yeah,
Get-
I'll
get the money for
I'll trade in the Office Switch that I use, and then I'll pick this one up. So, thank me later.
that's all good.
I'm into this. Like, I want a bigger screen with less bezels, and that white and the black and white colorway. It's
pretty good.
Say less. Yeah, it looks
I'm into
crispy.
that.
You get
I'm-
the
I'm-
dock, too.
PS5 and the Xbox Series S, you get the all white setup.
Yeah,
It's like
and then
2008
like
again.
Yeah.
you got a different stand. The stand's got rounded edges. It's got an Ethernet port built into it, and that's that on that. So if,
You know what?
folks were like clamoring for like an improved version that had 4K in it, like that's not happened now. Maybe it'll still happen later, but that's not what this
I
is.
think-
And
I think the company Nintendo that has put out what was it, like 8,000 different versions of the 3DS. I am not at all doubting that they will have another version of this console that is more powerful, and it will have like a tiny IBM ThinkPad style knob in there or something like that, like in the same way that they did for all the other 3DS or whatever.
We've had the 3DS, we had the 3DS XL, we had the new 3DS, we had the new 3DS XL, we had the 2DS, we had the 2DS XL. Shit, man, and we had like how many different special editions too? Like, come on, this is
The thing that I want, I am waiting with bated breath for a Metroid Dread version of this Switch. If they do a Switch OLED Metroid Dread version, day one, like I'll be there.
Do you see how people were kind of pointing out the color scheme kind of does match Metroid Dread? The white matches like the robots, and then they got the classic blue and red, and it's matching Samus. I mean, yeah, I know what you mean, but like,
I want Samus's
kinda
face on there. Yeah, I want this. I want Samus's face on there. I want the Metroid logo on there, and then we're in business. We're popping.
You do that for me, Nintendo, I'll give you another $50. I'll pay $400 for it, and I'll be ashamed of myself for doing it. I'll do it.
Yeah, this
But
is
like-
mostly
like-
for
like-
people who play handheld though. Like, if you play mostly docked, there's literally nothing for you to gain from this.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't play handheld as often, and also I think a big part of me, and I'm like still kind of holding out hope that like an eventual pro revision will do this, is like I really need new versions of the Joy-Cons, because because
you ain't getting that with this.
They be giving me carpal tunnel, they be giving me like all the hand cramps. Like it's
I was never a fan of the sticks, the analog sticks.
The analog sticks are awful. Like, and I get that they were probably like, look, we can't change too much, we got to keep the, it kind of splits the ecosystem up, and maybe for a version that's not too substantially different, it wouldn't make sense to do it. But I'm like, I really need something new and improved for that. I think that would have been the thing that actually like super sold me on it. Right now I'm seeing it and I'm like, yeah, like this stuff's all right, but it's not enough that I'm like clamoring for it.
Has Nintendo fixed its data transfer problem? Like the reason I like buying multiple PlayStations and Xboxes is because I'm like, oh, I can have one here, I can have one at my parents' house, I can have one at my partner's place, and like I just log into my account and just all my data is there just automatically.
Mr. Moneybags buying consoles everywhere.
Fixed that, or
no? If you're
the really convoluted process for this,
if you're starting a sentence with "has Nintendo fixed," there's a 99.9 recurring % chance the answer is no.
I was being hopeful.
No,
don't.
I like for me, I am actually excited about this because I am one of those people who does play handheld. Handheld these nuts is what I'm saying. Next story comes from a little company who is known as Ubisoft. Jordan, what is going on with Assassin's Creed Infinity? What is this?
Wait, Assassin's Creed what?
No.
Infinity nuts. Yeah, let's get it. You know the vibes. All right, continue, Jordan.
Back to back, these nuts jokes. Let's go.
No one knows what the fuck is happening with Assassin's Creed right now. But right before Ubisoft made the official announcement, Jason Schreier came out with a report being like, hey, Ubi's going in changing direction with Assassin's Creed again. They've gone from open world adventure to RPG, and now they're going from RPG to live service something. And it's gonna take place on the same platform, but like just multiple settings, and it's just gonna evolve, like taking inspiration from games like Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto Online. And then Ubisoft, like I want to say like an hour and a half after that, it was pretty quick, released the official announcement like, yeah, we are actually doing that. It's going to be a cross studio thing between Montreal and Quebec. We still have the super problematic men in high positions still in those high positions working on this, but we're hoping that you overlook that and get excited at the possibility of Assassin's Creed becoming so stupidly large that it just lasts for ever. Oh my god, this is so stupid.
The thing is, like, I said something similar on Twitter where I was like, I was hoping they'd get smaller, because I'm very much in the same camp as many of you are, especially Jordan. Like, I want smaller, tighter, more detailed, more controlled narrative tales, and they are going the opposite direction. And I had a few people like kind of replying, some people being Twitter people being like, shut up, no one cares what you think, but other people being like, they kind of pointed out that they're kind of mentioning that they have the capacity to make those smaller tales within this larger framework. And that I really want to get behind the idea of that. The problem that I foresee, or the one that I can't get past, is modern game design requires requires developers to like author and construct these pathways that take you to every corner of this massive world. Otherwise, it's pointless having a massive world. And the way they do that is they create these breadcrumbs that are constantly moving you from one thing to the other and pulling you in multiple different directions so that it never feels like you're done. That's how these games as a service games work, right? You never feel like, I'm done. This is it. I've got a short tail. I experienced a complete narrative. It's always something. There's always something happening. And so that's my main worry about it. Sure, they might be able to tell these tales, smaller tales, but will they be able to resist the temptation of always funneling you into another thing or wasting your time with menial tasks that ultimately have no bearing on what you're actually doing from a narrative perspective? That's my main worry.
Yeah. I have two minds of this. I have no basis for my beliefs, theories as to what Ubisoft is going to do. But I'm like, either A, they do something like what they were teasing at the beginning of Assassin's Creed Unity, where you like logged in and you saw like a bunch of different experiences to click from, and it's like, oh, this is a portal. You boot up Assassin's Creed Infinity, and it starts with like one default campaign, or maybe it's free to play, and then like each campaign is like $20 here for like this experience, and maybe $40 here for this much longer one, and etc., etc., etc. Or if they are leaning more in towards what something like Fortnite, what Grand Theft Auto Online does, it's a giant like open world modern day Assassin's Creed, where occasionally over time the world is evolving, and at the same time you have like an animus you can visit that you can use to do a bunch of single player content in the past, but like in the present day it's like this open world multiplayer experience where you can participate in different activities, whether people like bring back the multiplayer from Brotherhood and 3, bring back the Siege things from Unity, stuff like that. And I'm like, I could see it going either way. I could see it doing something completely different.
Dude, if they bring back the Brotherhood multiplayer, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I feel like that's exactly what they have to do, because they talk about how it's going to have multiple settings, and there's no cohesive way to make that work in a kind of like seamless open world, right? Like you have to. I feel like it's going to be very much that case of like the main world is an Abstergo like facility in a modern day where you are a bunch of subjects and then you can pick, and it's kind of like you drop in with all your friends and be like, all right, let's go to, I don't know, Italy. And then you all jump into the Animus together and it'll take you all to, I don't know, AC Brotherhood's multiplayer mode, or a curated experience that is a unique Assassin's Creed 2 setting, or, a Black Flag setting, etc., etc. I would struggle to see how they make a larger experience that has multiple settings cohesive outside of, hey, there's a portal here, jump through it, assassins, and then you come out on the other side and it's like, oh, you're in another part of the world now.
Cowards will refuse to make a single player game starring a woman in Assassin's Creed. They just won't do it.
Something I found interesting about the Ubisoft statement specifically is that when they were talking about it, they were talking about it less from the perspective of like what the game is going to play like as a consumer, and more about what that means from like actually developing it. Specifically, they were saying how like they had this like new cross-studio collaboration structure, and like they said, like I'm going to read what they said here. Quote, rather than continuing to pass the baton from game to game, we profoundly believe this is an opportunity for one of Ubisoft's most beloved franchises to evolve in a more integrated and collaborative manner that's less centered on studios and more focused on talent and leadership, no matter where they are within Ubisoft. So it kind of sounds like this is almost like a back-end thing of like, we can build this system that allows it to be easier for different teams of Ubisoft across the world to like build their own Assassin's Creed game or story and like have it easily be integrated, rather than like having like, a bunch of different teams like building multiple Assassin's Creed games at a time, and they got to kind of talk
like
to
what
each other.
Activision's
And
doing with Call of Duty,
exactly, because like Activision
years.
ran into that problem where you had like Infinite Warfare and Black Ops, and they tried to fuse them together and it like totally didn't work because those games are built on like different engines, and it was kind of a mess. And I think Ubisoft's like, we can avoid that by like building this system from the ground up to support this.
Yeah, like if you think about how a lot of when Ubisoft were with Assassin's Creed, how it gets like handed off from studio to studio, it's like a lot of stop and go in terms of like, this studio is going to make Odyssey, this studio is going to make Origins. Obviously they have had collaboration. When I was like talking to developers about Odyssey, they're like, yeah, this has been long in development because we work alongside the Origins team to make sure that these games are like congruous. They're not like just like these completely separate experiences that don't make sense when you connect them together. So I think this is more of like a framework for them to kind of communicate how they're approaching Assassin's Creed. But if it feels more continuous, I also think that I mean, I can't speak for y'all, but Assassin's Creed base games are long as shit, and I never almost finished them recently.
I know.
But they come out with really good DLC, or they have like their DLCs are chunky and are like oftentimes
they're
like pretty
games.
Yeah, they're like whole other games, but like no one, like I imagine that fewer people play those because they're like, yo, I'm done with this. Like I'm not like, what is this DLC? I'm gonna buy it for a game that I already bought. Because now the mentality is, the expectation is to have, like, if DLC is packaged with the game that you already bought or something, or it's an update to something that you subscribe to, or something like that. And so I think that this framing will help the add-on content to kind of like string you along to the next Assassin's Creed game. Like Fate of Atlantis, like what was that? Like, oh, that was actually pretty fire. I don't know. I didn't get to it, but if it like boot
a
up
30-hour DLC.
Yeah, and then but like I didn't touch it. But if I boot up Assassin's Creed, like, oh snap, like this, I don't know. I feel like it's just a lot more seamless as a player, and I imagine this can also help them be a lot more. I think more efficient when it comes to like making these games.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think I wish they would sit down and really unpack the knock-on effect of having the games be this large, because for me, I think one of the biggest issues I have is like, because they're this large, I do not give a shit about the main characters. I'm incapable of caring about those characters because one, the idea of playing a 70-hour game where a significant portion of that game is you running boring errands and doing like random side shit, it doesn't endear me to a character. It makes every character in Assassin's Creed, modern Assassin's Creed, even like Bayek is like, you aren't really an assassin, you're an errand, you're an errand boy, errand girl. You're Bayek was specifically a cop, but like even like Cassandra, I was like, I want to care about you, but you keep running off and doing this boring shit for a really long time, and I just cannot. Like the last character in Assassin's Creed that I really cared about was probably, I don't know, Edward Kenway. Like I was into him, but like none of them
Jacob and Evie and Syndicate.
No, not really, because there was two of them, and I didn't really like the back and forth between them. Like, I want to go back and give Syndicate another go, honestly. I kind of bounced off them. I found them quite annoying. But I think I was in a very irritated phase of my life as well there, where I was just annoyed by everything. But like, I wish I could care about a character the way that I did care about like Altair and
or even like the
Ezio.
The modern day stuff. Like, I don't know what the heck was going on with all that. And it's like, it's the same problem where it's even more so because you're like, okay, you introduced the modern character and then you play 40 hours of Odyssey and then you cut back to the main character and I'm like, I don't even remember their name or what they were doing or what's going on. Like, so if they can like,
is it
couch that
Layla?
Layla
Hassan. Yeah. And like that's what I'm talking about.
Interesting good thing about Valhalla is the fact, despite its campaign being like 70 hours, and to get like the true ending, you have to spend like another 20 on top of that for like a 100 hour experience, is the fact that it like references every single mainline game that came before it, and it just wraps up all of those storylines. So Altair, Ezio, Connor, Edward, Arno, Jacob, Evie, just all of Bayek, Cassandra, and basically it's like, all right, put a lid on it. It's done. We've wrapped everything up. We even touch on Desmond a little bit, and we kind of complete that. We are now basically at fresh slate. We can go somewhere new.
That actually kind of makes me a little excited then.
Yeah, that is exciting, but like... that exciting is immediately dulled by knowing that the next step isn't a like really smart reset where they curate and finally craft a new character and world. It's this platform that they've created where anyone can be an assassin and you can go anywhere and do anything. It's like, no, I was hoping you'd use this opportunity to be like, yo, we've got an Assassin's Creed 2. Like we've got to come up with a brand new assassin. We've focused it down. You're going to love this character. It's going to be really cool. It's not that. Like they're like, all right, we're making Fortnite or we're making GTA Online. I'm like, I don't really care about that. I don't. I want memorable stories.
Yeah, Jason Schreier's report and the official Ubisoft press release doesn't mention this, but Schreier's report mentions that like the soonest we're getting this game is 2024, so 3 years from now, and so there's a possibility that we get some sort of Assassin's Creed experience between now and this. I'm keeping like fingers crossed for a super like modern day remake of Assassin's Creed 1. But like it'll be interesting to see like do we get any Assassin's Creed between now and Infinity, or is Infinity just like what happens after Valhalla and we just take a break from Assassin's Creed for like 3 or 4 years?
There's also no guarantee that this Infinity project actually makes it to release. Like they've been very upfront in that they're talking about it like this is something we're experimenting with and we're figuring out. Whether it happens or not isn't a dead certainty. They might get a ways into development and think this is not working, and then we get something else instead. It seems like the plan is to work on that while working on Valhalla DLC, and maybe if we're lucky we'll get another game in between. I don't know. Like, I would love to see a good
remake. Come on,
AC1. I mean, like we got
style of RE2 and RE3 remake, like just completely like upend with
bring back the stealth. Bring back. I mean, like they did a bit of that with Revelations, right? Where you could go back and play some of the Altair stuff. But like, I want them to make the Assassin's Creed they sold us in the original Assassin's Creed trailer from E3, like that trailer still is one of the best.
Yeah, trailer's hot.
That game, the game that came out absolutely did not make good on anything that happens in that trailer. I don't think the
technology was there yet.
It's there now. You can make it. Make your Assassin's Creed 1 Hitman game and let's go.
God, that'd be so cool.
It turns out that the next Assassin's Creed is a modern, almost futuristic game, and it stars a new assassin named Samuel Fisher.
Yeah, let's go.
And it's a Splinter Cell game.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I mean, like, I would love that. I have been thinking a lot about Splinter Cell. Like, I want if you want more Splinter Cell chat, go to the Nuclear Fridge podcast.
Assassin's Creed just a Splinter Cell game, so that would just be Splinter Cell.
No.
Like it's kind of similar.
Relax.
I mean, Clint Hawking is one of the lead creative directors, so
yeah,
we're definitely not getting an actual Splinter Cell for a while, probably, if ever. Rip, but
it's gonna come in as a live service game.
I was
all their franchises.
I was thinking about this earlier. And there is a way to make a Splinter Cell live service game that works. But I was thinking about this earlier. But I really miss like AAA or even AA stealth games. There's just none of them around right now that I care about. Like, there's no Metal Gear. There's no Splinter Cell. There's no Thief. There's no.
I feel like the last one was
Dishonored.
What was that game? It was by like ex Hitman devs. Rob Handlery loved it.
Echo.
I feel like Echo was like the last game that game's very different, obviously, but it was the last game that was like trying to be like a proper stealth game that I can think of.
Yeah, but like I know there are a bunch of indie stealth games, but like very few of them have like a charismatic central character, the way that we have like Snake or Sam or Emily or Corvo, that kind of. That's what I yearn for. Another one of those, and like. Get it together, games industry. Give us a good stealth game again. Anyway, let's move on to listener questions.
Ooh, that beat is nasty.
Yeah, man, that beat is. It's like get Tech 9 dropping some bars over the top of that, and we're in business.
Too much, I feel like, for emails, though.
Yeah, for emails, heavy. It's like we're about we've opened the door to hell, and we're gonna pull out some emails.
Oh my god!
We've got one question today. Jordan, can you read the question, please?
Sure.
Before we do that, actually, I should point out that if you want to send in questions, you can email at afterdarkpodcast@gamespot.com or join our Discord if you want entry to the Discord. All you have to do is send me your social security number, your address, your bank account details, and I will get back to you within 2 to 3 days about that. Or you can DM me that on Twitter or DM Lucy, and we'll get you in. Don't actually send me your don't dox yourself. That was a joke. Jordan, can you read the first question that comes from Maria, aka Serious Business?
My Mass Effect Legendary cache is arriving tomorrow, and I can't wait to put it on the 1-1 scale in 7 element and run around my house with Nerf guns pretending I'm Commander Shepard. What's the dumbest gaming related purchase you've ever made? Oh, that's easy.
I mean, I do have that helmet, and it was probably the most recent dumbest purchase I have ever made.
I would say the dumbest purchase I've ever made was the day 1 edition of the Xbox One that came with the giant Kinect.
Sad.
And like, I was like, you know what? There were messaging was poor, but Xbox had a great 360 era. I'm sure that they will not bugger the Xbox One. I can definitely do this and not PS4. That was
you thought
stupid decision to make.
I imported a Japanese like deluxe copy of Persona 3 Dancing and Persona 5 Dancing before it got like announced for America, and then I still haven't even opened it. Because they announced it for America, and I was like, well, it'll just sit on my shelf and look cool.
There was a period, I've talked about this before, but there was a period where I just decided I was going to rescue GameCubes. Like, I felt real bad about GameCubes just being getting...
Were you going to be like the GameCube version of Greg Miller with PS Vitas?
Yeah, basically. So I'd like every now and then I'd walk past this secondhand game store in the UK, and I'd pop in there and see if there were any GameCubes, and if they were like cheap enough, I'd just buy them and be like, I'll rescue you, and like give them to someone who might be able to like
so cute.
Make use. Like give them to like friends or like whatever. If I knew anyone, like, oh, my friend has this younger brother or cousin that likes games, I'd be like, here's a GameCube, give him the GameCube. It's got a copy of Mario Kart Double Dash in there and Mario Sunshine. Don't play Mario Sunshine though. And here's Melee. Like it would be like that kind of stuff, but like I ended up accumulating far too many GameCubes. I still have a couple. I still have got like at least 5 in this room, probably, including my orange one, my Spice Orange GameCube, which I stole from a previous employer when they made me redundant.
I say my old GameCube broke, so I might buy one of those from you. So,
dude, if you want a GameCube, I'll bring it up. Actually, no, I'm in the UK. I'm not coming back to the States if they let me back.
There's
with
also
a GameCube.
Some really good third-party devices out there that allow you to hook up your GameCube through HDMI. Right to your TV, like without needing to mod it. Like you used to have to like send it to a dude and he would like cut a hole in. Now you just buy a device. It's kind of expensive. It's like $150 or whatever. But if you want to play your GameCube on your nice 4K TV looking sharp,
well, I'm gonna have to because Nintendo won't let me play any of my GameCube games anymore.
Metroid Prime, baby, get Metroid Prime on that.
Oh,
still bangs.
God.
Metroid Prime is still a good game.
Such a good game.
Metroid Prime is so good.
So
I don't think I have any dumb game related purchases because I'm not a dumb person. I might not be smart, but I'm not dumb.
No regrets.
Yeah, I don't know. I've probably done some dumb shit. Well, I always do dumb shit, but
Didn't
I don't
you
think
get
it's
into
gaming.
like Final Fantasy 14 like near the beginning of its
Excuse
launch?
you. Oh no.
Like eventually it became a good purchase, but like in the beginning, like it was not a smart.
No, that game was not on my radar until I met Ben Jenka. So
okay.
Yeah, I didn't get into it until early 2019 is when I fell in love. I found true love with Final Fantasy 14, and now we're married. So that's that on that. I don't know. I don't really buy special editions of things, especially not anymore because any game I want to play, I could probably get game codes, and if not, like I don't mind dropping $60 on a. Because I rarely buy games, but like I used to drop mad money on like tech shit. I bought like how many keyboards, how many mice. I had like a wireless keyboard, and then I want a mechanical keyboard, and then I got a cheap mechanical keyboard, and then I got an MMO mouse. I didn't play MMOs at the time, but that shit looked tight. And then I got like a new Logitech mouse, but now Logitech came out with a new mouse, and I want that one. got like mad headsets. I had like 7 headsets, only got 2 ears. I think tech products is more where I fell into a bunch of dark, deep, expensive holes.
Mm-hmm. I bought an Oculus Quest.
For special editions, like I know doing this, they would probably not make as much money, which is why they don't do it. But I'm always really sad that special editions are always announced and released alongside the game's launch, like before I know whether or not I'm like, yo, this game is going to be like life-changing for me. I definitely want the special edition for it. Like by the time I realized that Titanfall 2 was going to be like my favorite first-person shooter of all time, the special edition for that had been sold out like for months at that point. I'm like, why do developers not release the special edition like the same way that they did like, this is the Game of the Year edition that comes out a year after the game is out? I'm like, I would for sure buy more special editions if they came out several months after I'd had time with the game to fall in love with it and know like, oh yeah, I want all the statues and helmets and scarves and postcards and whatever else comes in this box.
When you think about it, special editions are pretty dumb because we're all like, yeah, I'll drop $200 on a game I haven't played yet. I want those.
It'll be really.
I want these postcards and.
I guess is fire.
Yeah, I guess that's why services or companies like limited run games exist, but obviously they're not out there making deals with EA for Titanfall. They're making deals with indie developers, which is a shame. But you are right though. That's 100% on point with that. Like.
I'd for sure buy a special edition of Bloodborne now, but like I wouldn't have bought it when that game was first announced, and I'm like, look, this is totally new from Software. I assume it's going to be good, but I've just enjoyed Dark Souls at this point. Who knows if Bloodborne's
so I
don't know if I special edition like it.
I bought level. They re-released they re-released game Bloodborne as in like a PlayStation Essentials collection as part of
I hate that.
No. This is a different one.
The physical one that they came out with. But
the physical one came out as UK exclusive only, and it had like limited covers that was like Ollie Moss style super
cool.
Yeah. I do remember those.
I've got that. I've got the God of War one. I've got the Blood Bowl one. I think I've got the. I think it's like Eco Collection. One of them, like maybe Shadow of the Colossus Eco Collection. There's one more that I have, which I'm pretty sure is like Team Eco related. But yeah, I think that thing's on my desk. Shit!
Wow.
Someone's definitely stolen that.
Today's the first day we can go in.
Hey, let's get it. Oh, actually, no.
Shit,
I think
you're the
Rob.
UK.
I think actually our former GameSpot employee Rob Henry might have rescued it for me, and it's actually in my apartment somewhere. Legend. Thank you everyone for listening to the 101st episode of GameSpot After Dark. We super appreciate you spending your time and lending your ears and your eyes to listen to us chat it up. Remember, as we said, if you're a podcast listener, why not head over to YouTube, maybe give it a little watch on there, boost our numbers artificially. Would love it. That would be super helpful for us. And if you're watching the video and you enjoyed this, why not help guarantee the future of the GameSpot After Dark podcast by heading over to a podcast app and just subscribing, and helping us grow a bit more. Tell a friend, rate and review us on iTunes, hit us up on Spotify, find me on Adult Friend Finder. Jordan,
excuse you.
What have you been doing and where can people find you?
I put out previews for both the Death's Door one should be up by now, and before that did one for Tunic, which if you're like a fan of games like Breath of the Wild and Dark Souls and games that are about discovering lore and secrets and working with the community to figure everything out, that game is for you. And I got a full interview and preview of that up, as well as more full thoughts on Death's Door. And I don't know. I'll probably, if I don't write something about Assassin's Creed, I'll probably be tweeting something about Assassin's Creed at JM Remake. So you can follow me over there for that.
Love it. Michael, where you at?
You can find me and all of my bullshit at Michael P. Hyam on Twitter.com. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do not know what you're saying, but I understand what you're saying, if you know what I'm saying.
Feel me? Yeah. That's
I get
that
you.
on that.
That's that on that. Jean-Luc. What are you up to? Where can people find you?
You can find me at John Seipke on Twitter. Like I said, I was on the Bombcast this week. I don't actually say all that much because, to be honest, I was like super nervous and focusing on actually making sure the production went well. But yeah, it was really cool to help and fill out with them. I'm actually going to be filling out next week as well, I believe. So if you didn't enjoy me on that, then too bad. You get a whole nother week of that. Otherwise, I should hopefully have that Metroid buyer's guide thing that I've been working on. Spoiler alert. They're good. Go play Metroid if you can.
Play the Metroid games. You'd love to see it. You can find me on Twitter at TomorH. I have been working on a bunch of things in the background. If you want specifically something to check out, giantbomb.com. Buy a premium subscription. Check out the show Born to Run, which is a brand new show that has been launched on giantbomb.com. It involves myself and Danny O'Dwyer playing through every game in the Soulsborne From Software catalog. We're starting with Demon Souls for the PlayStation 5, and we're going to go through all of them. There's one episode so far. I think it's a pretty fun episode. Yeah, it's designed and created in the style of the endurance runs, but a little more edited so that you're not like wasting hours and hours of your time not really seeing much happen. That was all good back in the day, but I feel like a lot of us don't really have the time or the spirit to have a kind of like low-key, not really entertaining stuff happening for significant periods of time. We've created a character. His name is Tuna Supreme. Legend.
Sure.
And yeah. If you don't have a Giant Bomb premium subscription, you can actually go to Giant Bomb YouTube channel and get a cut down version of the episode. We do encourage you to, take out a premium subscription. They're relatively cheap, so if you can afford it, it would be great. You'll be getting a lot of content. That's one of many shows that are launching, have launched and are going to be launching soon. We've got the Grub Snacks show going up. Lucy and I are working with Jeff Backlar on another show that's going to be cool. And then there's a whole bunch of other shows in the background that are currently in the either planning or production phases. And there's going to be even more shows. Like we're working in the background on figuring it out. We're making partnerships. So if you buy a Giant Bomb premium subscription, you will get your money's worth. Why is this turned into a Giant Bomb ad? Fuck out of here. See you next week.
Peace.